Okay, guys, so here we are, week 4. Time to do our matchup previews for week 4. Last week we had some audio difficulties. This week it seems that the audio is working fine. Wanted to say thanks to Pack Attack for doing the previews for us, or doing the recap for us, rather. I appreciate it. I was a little bit busy this week and couldn't get to it, so thank you, Pack Attack. So matchup number 1, we're going to start out with Valor Morgulis, which is Cameron, of course, and I'm with her, which is, of course, Jason, who's using that team name because he is a huge Hillary Clinton supporter, as we all know. So this matchup's going to be interesting. It's two pretty evenly matched teams, in my opinion. What this one's going to come down to is the big dogs. You're going to see Cam Newton versus Drew Brees. And Brees in his last favorable matchup for quite some time here this week. Hopefully for you, Jason, he takes advantage of it. I think Melvin Gordon at home against the Saints is going to tip this battle over to Jason. So I'm going to predict Jason gets the win. My bold prediction for this one is that Kelvin Benjamin actually is held below 8 fantasy points at home or at Atlanta. I think teams are focusing on stopping Benjamin and forcing Cam to look at other options, and Cam is just not succeeding right now in doing that. So I think Kelvin Benjamin has a rough day as far as that goes, but even still, Jason pulls down the W. Sorry, Cam, but is what it is. It happens. So matchup number 2, we have Donkey Punch, which is, of course, No Trade Joe versus Captain Caveman, which is Jared. So Joe has Nighttime Andy going on Thursday. Historically not great, but at home against the Dolphins, barely their defense, I got to expect he's going to do well. The issue you're going to have, though, Joe, is that Jared has A.J. Green. So I'm going to predict the upset. I think this is the week that Gronkowski gets going for Jared. I think Demaryius Thomas has a good matchup at Tampa Bay where they're going to be able to throw all over the Bucs. Terrell Pryor should do pretty well at Washington, especially since Josh Norman is not going to shadow him. Really don't like your running back situation, Joe. I mean, we've been through this. Mark Ingram's not very good. Latavius Murray's in a 4-man committee, and you really don't have much in the cupboard on the bench. So, probably should have sold high on Ingram when you had the chance, but that's over now. So, Jared is going to get the W, but bold prediction for this week. Adam Vinatieri outscores Steven Gostkowski for the 4th straight week. Jared's 8th-round pick kicker, which was, again, the worst pick in the history of our draft. No Frank Gore in the first round was not worse. And the reason is because Frank Gore is at least a running back. So worst pick in the history of our draft. Gostkowski has given him absolutely no return on value from the 8th round, and I think that continues this week. So Vinatieri outscores Gostkowski. Jared gets the W anyway. So matchup number 3, John's great team versus Cheesehead. So Tony's off to a great start this year behind Marvin Jones Jr., who I should have never told you about before the season started because you didn't even know who he was. But that being said, who knows who would have wound up with Marvin Jones Jr. then. So at least I know with your team, Tony, I don't have to worry about you actively trying to get better. So at some point you'll collapse. John's got a horrid quarterback situation this week with a hobbled Russell Wilson at the Jets, which is probably still a better play than Eli Manning at Minnesota. Minnesota has been the best defense in football. Either way, not great matchups. Looking up and down John's matchups here, I don't see a whole lot of potential for an upset. I think Tony's going to get the W in this one. My bold prediction, now that Willie Snead, if Willie Snead returns, I suspect Fleener goes back to his one catch for 6 yards or so. He had a big week last week with Snead out, but he was running a lot of those routes that Snead usually runs from the slot. So they replaced Snead with Fleener. I think Snead comes back. Fleener is buzzard bait once again. But that being said, John's going to get a big week from Ezekiel Elliott. It's not going to be enough to overcome Le'Veon Bell returning. Le'Veon Bell is going to have a monster game even against a tough Chiefs defense. Tony gets the W. Matchup number 4, Suicide Squad, coming off of a fresh W. Congratulations. Playing against Kneel Before Zod, Steve, who, as you all know, is on probation for being a jackass. So, Suicide Squad, Rivers at home against the Saints. Boy, that is a tasty matchup. I also expect Amari Cooper to get going this week, but your running back situation is tough, man. I know you're a Giants fan, but Orleans Darkwa, there might not be much other choice for you out there right now. The injury bug has hit your team hard at running back. If Doug Martin and Jonathan Stewart were both healthy, your team would look a lot different. So I'll give you props on that. Chris is definitely the MASH unit of the league with the injuries. Poor guy had Keenan Allen go down, Doug Martin, Zach Ertz, Jonathan Stewart. It's just been injury after injury, and you're still managing to be competitive every week. So great job, Suicide Squad. Unfortunately, you're not going to win this week. Duke Johnson is going to absolutely shred the LA Rams, who have been just way worse than advertised. I think Brandon Cooks gets going this week at San Diego. And, of course, Bortles and Robinson ought to be in for some good garbage time points against the Colts later on in that game, who have a terrible defense anyway. Bold prediction for this one. Matt Forte does not cross 8 points. Lost your chance to sell high on him. He had a horrible game last week. He's going to have another horrible one this week. And with the amount of touches he's getting, he's tiring out quickly, and it's only going to get worse. So some tough matchups ahead for Forte. I don't expect him to do much probably for a long time. So that it just goes to show you don't freak out over 1 or 2 weeks. It's not a big deal. Like Devontae Freeman after 2 weeks hadn't done much, and he explodes for 200 yards and a touchdown last week, showing he's still a fantasy contributor. Unfortunately, Kneel Before Zod gets the W. So final matchup, Legend Killer versus Pack Attack. Happy birthday to Pack Attack. It's his birthday this week. You get the gift of playing my underachieving team. At some point, my team's going to break out. I don't know that this is going to be the week, though. I'm projected. I think I'm way over projected in points. I'm projected at 114 and change when I haven't scored more than 97 all season. Kirk Cousins makes me a little nervous. LeGarrette Blount, the way they've been using him against the Rex Ryan defense on long rest at home, man, that's got to make you nervous. What this one's going to come down to for my team anyway is rookie Jordan Howard, this year's Devontae Freeman. Yes, you heard that right. Jordan Howard is this year's Devontae Freeman. He's an absolute animal, and he is going to have a monster game against the Detroit Hello Kitties, to the tune of over 120 total yards and 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. So I think I'm going to take the W in this one. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Don't particularly love my team or my dad's team this week, but I think I take the W. So there is your matchup previews for this week. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later.